What's up, Brew Crew? Opie here. Welcome back to my Brew City Garden. Today I've got with me little Miss Brew Crew here, and we're just cruising around the garden, seeing what everything looks like. Because after my last video, the sky just kind of opened up, and then
Rain poured down.
all of a sudden the rain came down, and it really hasn't stopped. I mean, we get a few hours of of a break, but the next thing you know, it's just pouring down rain again. And if you look at the map, we're certainly not the only ones. It seems like the whole, especially the northern and the central part of the country, is just getting pummeled with rain right now. And our prayers certainly go to those out there who have been affected with flooding and just some really terrible circumstances out there. And our prayers go out to the farmers here in the Midwest that still haven't been able to get their crops planted. And if they don't get them in very soon, it's going to be a total loss for the year. Which is just a reminder that, this is one of the reasons why it's always good to be at least somewhat self-sustainable. I would assume that our food prices are going to literally skyrocket come this fall through next summer, just because of the effects that the weather has had this year. And it's really a sad thing, but it's just something to keep in mind. It's always good to have a stock of seeds and to know how to use them, because you never know. You end up with circumstances like we had this year, and it could get pretty bad, especially if that happens 2 or 3 years in a row. So just keep that in mind, and keep all these people in your prayers, because we certainly need it this year. So now we're sitting out here, like I said, it's been just pouring down rain, and then all of a sudden the rain just quit. And believe it or not, it's been probably about 50 degrees Fahrenheit on average for the last week and a half or 2 weeks. And today is supposed to be almost 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sun's supposed to come out at some point and hopefully dry things up. So we're just cruising around the garden and just taking a look and seeing how everything's doing. A lot of the seeds that I planted in the last 2 videos are starting to germinate. So we've really got some beautiful germination. The carrots are coming up, are just starting to come up, and really looking good. Which leads me to believe that using the compost instead of the peat-based mix on the tops of the bales is certainly the right move to make. It just seems to work so much better, because even last year when I used the peat base, we had a lot of rainy days as well, but in between rains, that peat base dried out and it just killed off all my carrot seeds. With the compost, I'm not having that issue this year. I'm still waiting on the peas. Even though peas are a cool weather crop, they still need a little bit warmer temperatures to properly germinate. And unfortunately, the peas that I grew inside, I neglected for 1 day, and they are half fried. So they're still alive, but they are not looking pretty at all. So anyway, this weekend I need to get out here and take care of that. I did have some foresight back in January. I went ahead and took a few days off for the Memorial Day weekend. So luckily, starting after today, I've got a nice 5-day weekend, and we can finally start battling the garden. We're going to play catch up. So there's going to be a lot of work to do, and I'm going to be filming just a ton of content. So we got a lot of things that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's just going to be nice to get back out here in the garden. First things first, though, I got to mow this grass. So one thing to consider, if you're putting your bales out on your lawn, similar to what I'm doing here, keep in mind that when you add all that fertilizer to your bales, a lot of that fertilizer is going to end up leaching out of the bales and into your lawn. And you'll get an instance like I have here where, yes, my grass is tall, the whole yard is tall because it's just been too wet to mow, but the grass next to the bales is extra tall. I mean, it gets really tall, and it'll be like that all season. And that's just from the residual fertilizers leaching out of the bales and into the lawn. So just keep that in mind. You might want to pay a little extra attention around the bales, because the grass is definitely going to grow way faster in those areas. So as you can see, you know, a lot of my seeds have germinated and are coming up. They look super healthy. I mean, really, even though it's been super wet, it's been really conducive to seed germination and plant growth overall. It has been a little cool, but I imagine with the weather warming up today through the weekend, the germination rates are really going to explode from here, and we'll see a lot of really nice, fresh new growth. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also looking forward to putting in all my transplants and you know, just getting a lot of my summer seeds sown into the bales. A lot of that stuff's going to happen. We look over in the makeshift straw bale greenhouse, and all those transplants in there just look just beautiful, so healthy. They're so ready to come out here in the open elements and start doing their thing. So we'll get all those tomatoes and peppers, and I just got all kinds of things in there that are just itching to come out of the greenhouse and into the garden. So we're going to take care of that today as well. All right, guys, hey, make sure you stay tuned because there is a ton of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I don't want you guys to miss it. I'd love to have you here to join me in the Brew City Garden, and together we can plant out the rest of our transplants and our summer crops, and just see how everything goes in and it starts to come along. All right, guys, from Little Miss Brew Crew and I,
we will see you next time, and hopefully we'll talk about cilantro.
All right, guys, from Little Miss Brew Crew and I, we want you to have an awesome day, and until next time,
we'll see ya.